I had a really long day today, so I decided that to relax and unwind, I was going to come home and watch a movie on Netflix. I have the whole like watch instantly online situation on Netflix, so I decided I've never done it before. I'll try it out. So I picked the movie Justice League: New Frontier, and I know what you're thinking. Well done, Andy, and being a mature, responsible adult, and the first movie you pick on Netflix upon resuming your account is a superhero cartoon. Well done. I understand that. I understand your skepticism, but it actually wasn't terrible. Basically, it takes place in the DC Comics universe, so it's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, all those guys, and they're kind of living in the 1950s toward the end of the Korean War, and it deals with the Red Scare and the McCarthy trials of the 1950s, and how the government kind of starts mistrusting superheroes, and in turn the superheroes start kind of mistrusting each other, and the populace becomes afraid of the superheroes of Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, the whole bit. And there's just this underlying fear and paranoia, which, based on my research, is kind of par for the course for the 1950s. I'm a big history geek, so I used to read about the communist scare of the 50s for fun. Whatever. Anyways, the bad guy in the movie is really flimsy. It's just this alien entity who kind of decides that humanity isn't worth saving because they're too violent and destructive and whatever. So anyways, there's this great scene. It's the climax of the movie. You have people from the army and people from the army and the superheroes kind of like arguing together in army base. And they're just kind of arguing and screaming and yelling at each other. And Superman kind of floats above them and says to them, guys, stop it. We cannot fight with each other. We can't get anything done. Nothing good is accomplished when we fight with each other. We have to unite as free Americans and blah blah blah. Rah rah. It's the textbook Superman speech. And you know what? It was a good speech for that situation. It rallied the troops, the whole bit. Everyone was really happy. And I'm thinking, alright, I like where this is going. The whole, this enemy thinks we're destructive and violent, but we have to, we can't beat this enemy with more of the same violence that we're accused of. We need to do something different. And I'm ready for this whole turn on his head situation, and it doesn't happen. They just come up with a plan to outgun the bad guy. They do outgun the bad guy. They blow up the bad guy. The movie's over. Everybody's happy. And it depressed me, because I've seen so many movies like that, where the basic idea is you have me, you have bad guy, and the only way we can live happily ever after is if the bad guy, his headquarters, and all of his cronies have been blown up. Pick a Bruce Willis movie. 90% of them are like that, plot-wise. And not just Bruce Willis, I'm singling him out because it's the first one that came to mind. But it's this idea that in order to win, you have to destroy your enemy and crush them completely, and then you've won. Sociologists call this the myth of redemptive violence. It's this myth, basically, that the world is made better, that you can perfect the world and humanity through escalating acts of violence until your side wins out. Basically, it's what we see in movies all the time. You see it regularly. Superhero movies are especially guilty of this, and so are most action movies. That's the way it goes. Your enemy has to blow up in a nice fireball in order for there to be the resolution everybody so wants. But I was sitting there thinking, maybe, just maybe, this movie is going to turn out in such a way that you don't overcome, or you've been accused of violence by this all-powerful force, and so they're destroying you because you're too violent, and you respond, oh yeah, we're more violent than you are, to the point that we can destroy you and maintain our way of life. with no reforms built in, just continuing the violence. And I'm talking in circles and rambling at this point. But it's this idea, this acknowledgement of the myth of redemptive violence that's kind of got me thinking more politically. How do I draw this into my own world that I live in? And when I'll admit to you, I was a supporter of President Bush in 2000 when he was running against Al Gore. I was 14 years old, quite frankly, and I was born and raised in a Republican household, and it just kind of seemed like the thing to do. If you're a good Christian, you voted for George W. Bush. That's what I was told. And I was 14, so I didn't vote, so whatever. In 2004, I had just turned 18, and I was away at school at Indiana, and I didn't get my absentee ballot in. I'd meant to send it in, but I had forgotten, and I didn't realize it until like early December. So I didn't vote in that election, but had I filled out my ballot, I probably would have voted for George W. Bush. And I see now that because at the time we had gone into the Iraq War, and I thought to myself, well, you know, and I kind of bought into the hype, I bought into the ideas, you know, this is what's deserved and all this stuff. But if I really truly believe the idea that the world is not made better through escalating acts of violence, that turns the whole preemptive war idea on its head. That changes everything. Not only on the national level, but how I deal with other people. How, when I'm wronged, I can't go off on them like they often deserve. That I need to show compassion and understanding first. And I'm preaching at this point, and I apologize. But I don't know. It's just kind of something that was on my mind, and I saw this movie, and how this figures into the current political situation is I really don't like Barack Obama. I'm not going to lie about it. However, John McCain seems as though he's still kind of all about this. He still very much buys into this myth of redemptive violence. So, yeah, I don't know. But that's, I'll vote third party. Yeah, I'll vote Libertarian, Bob Barr, woohoo. But I now live in Pennsylvania, which is a swing state. And I don't want to not vote, and I don't want to weigh the, I don't want to say something to the effect of I have to pick the lesser of two evils, because if I really have strong ethical issues with both candidates, and I have some with Barack Obama, and I'm not going to get into it, they are legitimate issues, but so I don't know where that leaves me. I have some soul searching to do before November. But I'm sorry, I'm rambling. It's just kind of a stream of conscious video, and I apologize. But I'm probably not going to edit this. I'm just going to throw it up probably to VloggerHeads and see what happens. So thanks, guys, very much. And this is my inaugural VloggerHeads video. I hadn't planned on that when I started talking, but I think that's where I'm going to put this. Unless it goes well, in that case, I might move it over. So whatever. Thanks, guys, so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.